All right, we're here in Canastota, New York, home of the International Boxing Hall of Fame during the 24th induction weekend with WBC middleweight champ Sergio Maravilla Martinez and Team Maravilla team member Nathan Lukowitz. Sergio, welcome back to Canastota. It's your third time here. What does that say about you, your feelings about the Hall of Fame?
Tercera vez que viniste aquí. ¿Cómo te sientes del Boxing Hall of Fame?
Bueno, muchas gracias. Estoy muy feliz de estar aquí, muy contento porque es un buen reconocimiento. Sentir mucho cariño por la gente, muy grande reconocimiento.
He said he's very happy to be back in the Boxing Hall of Fame. It's a good reminder of just how grateful the fans are for boxing, and he loves to support the sport.
You've proven to be one of the more popular champions that has come to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, by testimony of how many autographs you signed today and how many people waited in line to get your signature.
Porque las personas que estaban en la línea eran más grandes de todas las personas que estaban firmando.
Bueno, muchas gracias. Creo que es porque este año faltan grandes estrellas de verdad. Entonces creo que porque faltan grandes estrellas debe ser eso, por algo soy grande hoy, ¿no?
He's being modest, but what he said is because he feels that the reason why he got so many people that are excited that he's here is that he's the biggest one here, whereas in past years there have been other bigger stars at the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Está Marvin Hagler, que es muy grande.
But Marvin Hagler is still bigger than him.
And you easily signed for, I'd say, a couple hundred people today with your still healing left hand. How's your hand holding out?
Casi 100, pero con tu mano rota. ¿Cómo ves tu mano ahora?
Está mejorando. Necesito unos meses más, dos meses más mínimo para poder empezar a golpear. Pero sí puedo firmar sin problema.
Yeah, he said that it still hurts. He's got about 2 more months until he's fully back where he can actually throw a punch and hit a bag. But signing autographs, it hasn't hurt his hand yet.
Now, what exactly is the extent of the injury? Is it a break, a sprain, tendons, ligaments?
¿Qué exactamente pasó con tu mano?
Mi mano se fracturó. Una fractura en un hueso, no voy a señalar.
It's a metacarpal fracture. That's what exactly it is.
Did you have a cast on it prior to this wrap?
¿Tenías la mano en otra cosa antes?
No. Antes estaba bien.
No, después de la pelea, pero antes de pusiste eso, tenías como un...
Sí, tenía una cosa que se llama, en español se llama férula, que es una protección para inmovilizar la mano.
So it wasn't like a cast, but it was kind of like one of those, I guess actually it is like a soft cast, and that's what he had on before.
So not a plaster cast that was permanently on?
No, it wasn't.
Had to be cut off?
No,
okay.
Nothing like that.
And is this a repeat injury to this exact hand, or is this the first time you've been with this one?
Sí, pero no en el mismo sitio, no me rompí el mismo hueso, me rompí otros huesos en otros.
Similar injury, different bone on that specific hand.
Okay. Now you injured that in your fight with Martin Murray in Argentina. That was your first fight as a champion back in Argentina. Talk about the experience of defending your title as a champion back in Argentina, the fan reaction, and the weather during the fight.
La experiencia defender tu título para primera vez en Argentina. Y cómo emocionante cuando tú mirabas a todas esas personas y con la lluvia, todo eso, ¿qué sentías?
Fue espectacular, fue una sensación que nunca antes tuve y fue hasta ahora lo mejor que viví en el boxeo, lo mejor que viví en mi vida profesional. Fue por lejos lo mejor porque ver que 40.000 personas se quedaron aún con la lluvia que caía fue increíble, ¿no? Eso me hizo sentir el afecto y el cariño de todos.
He said it was probably the best moment in his professional career. The fact that 40,000 people stayed in the rain, waited out to see him fight was very emotional for him, and it was probably the best time of his whole life.
Okay, that being said, you got knocked down a couple times in the fight. One of them official, one ruled a slip. what do you attribute that to? The opponent, the nerves?
Está diciendo que en el combate con Murray te caíste una vez que el referee hizo sí, y la otra vez puede ser que era no o puede sí, pero estabas nervioso. ¿Estabas nervioso en Argentina? ¿Por qué tú crees que eso pasó?
No, nervioso no. El golpe, en la segunda caída sentí como un golpe detrás de mi cabeza, pero probablemente hubiese sido necesario apuntarme. Una cuenta hubiese estado bien.
Yeah, he said the second knockdown he felt like he was hitting the back of the head, but he, thinks that, probably it should have been counted as a knockdown.
Pero también creo que eso fue un error del árbitro. Como también creo que fue un error del árbitro no haberle descontado puntos a Mer por las infracciones.
He did say it was probably a mistake of the referee. He probably should have counted a knockdown, but he also thinks the referee should have taken points away from Murray from the constant fouls that he was doing the whole fight.
No critico el trabajo del árbitro, pero sí que probablemente tuvo varios errores que se notaron mucho.
He doesn't want to be super critical of the referee, but there were a lot of mistakes that were made that evening that, probably could have been avoided.
Now, we were talking earlier during lunch about the quality of opponents that you've faced since you beat Kelly Pavlik, and during your kind of star-crossed title reign with, I think, something like a record of 234, 5-2. So you've fought really high-quality opponents. Does that attest to why your fights haven't been super easy, with the exception of Zintra?
Está diciendo que cuando estamos almorzando antes, estamos hablando de la cualidad de todas las personas que tú boxeas contra, como Barber, Paul Williams, todas esas personas. So, está diciendo, ¿ese tú crees es porque cuando combates a esas personas no es como lo matas en 2 segundos, es cuando las peleas son muy duros para ti?
Las peleas son difíciles porque los rivales son de nivel, son gente que son boxeadores campeones o ex campeones mundiales. Por eso es lógico, creo que las peleas son largas. Hay peleas que puedo ganar por puntos, otras por dos, pero siempre me va a costar mucho trabajo.
He's saying that the fights since, obviously, you mentioned Pavlik, all those fighters have either been champions or have been ex-champions. So that's why they're not, the easy fights that everyone is saying, oh, he's going to, walk through them. That's why they're long. He has to win on points with some of them. And it's just, it's not an easy fight when he's fighting top-quality opponents.
You pride yourself on the fact that you really, with the exception of the rematch with Paul Williams, and Zinzuruk, which was really an unexpectedly fantastic performance, you've taken on top-notch guys and you don't take on easy fights.
Está diciendo, que tú combates a las personas que son muy buenas, nunca combates a personas que son difíciles para ganar. ¿Qué tú piensas de eso?
Creo que la mejor elección que puedo hacer es buscar rivales de nivel, rivales difíciles. Cuanto más grande sea el rival, o más grandes sean los rivales, más grande va a ser mi carrera y más grande va a ser mi nombre.
So he's saying that by taking on these fighters that, they're not easy to beat, it helps his career because it makes his name bigger and just makes him gain more respect.
Now, there are several potential matchups out there for you, and as we talked before, most of them are still co-champions or former champions. Golovkin, Daniel Gil, or the winner of Mayweather-Alvarez would have to come up. Are these fights that are on your radar?
Esas personas están en tu radar.
Todos son posibles, sí, todos son posibles rivales. Siempre quiero peleas difíciles, siempre quiero los rivales más grandes. Lo vengo haciendo desde que empecé a boxear y voy a seguir de esa manera.
He said all those are possibilities because they're great fighters, they're all named fighters, and he's been doing that ever since he started his career, just always trying to get the best fights and trying to push himself.
Now, 2 of your former challengers, both Brits, Matthew Macklin and Darren Barker, are getting second shots at world titles against your co-champions, Macklin against Golovkin and Darren Barker against Daniel Gill this summer. How do you see each of those fights? Have you thought about the outcomes of those fights?
Macklin y Barker, dos personas que tú lo ganaste, se van a competir con Daniel Gill y el otro con Golovkin. ¿Qué tú crees va a pasar en esos dos peleas?
Puede ganar uno u otro, pero las peleas siempre van a ser muy parejas. Golovkin probablemente esté por encima del resto de boxeadores, pero en sí todos somos bastante parejos y equilibrados.
So he's saying that, out of those fights, it's pretty equal, but he thinks Golovkin will probably come on top in that fight versus Macklin, but the other one, they're pretty much equal with Barker and Gale. It's tough to call.
Okay. And how do you see the matchup this fall if it comes off between Mayweather and Alvarez?
¿Qué tú crees van a ganar? ¿Quién tú crees va a ganar? Mayweather o Alvarez?
Ojalá que el Canelo esté bien, haga una gran pelea, pero me parece que el favorito por experiencia es Mayweather.
So he's hoping that Canelo will come to the fight and give a good fight, but he thinks the experience of Floyd Mayweather is going to be the big factor, and he's going to win.
Do you think if Mayweather does win, that the only mountain left for him to climb would be a matchup with you at middleweight and him going after his, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th belt?
¿Tú crees si Mayweather lo gana a Canelo para Mayweather que pueda decir que él es uno de los más buenos de la historia, que él tiene para convertir contigo a 160?
Mayweather ya es uno de los mejores de la historia, ya es uno de los mejores. Pero yo ya no tengo ganas de hacer un combate con él. Ya no es mi motivación.
So he's saying Mayweather is, at this point, obviously considered the best. His legacy is already intact. He will go down as one of the best fighters in history. But according to Sergio, he's saying that he has it out of his mind in terms of fighting Mayweather because it's not going to happen. So it's not like he's going to chase it. He knows it's just not something that's going to ever happen. It's just not on either of their radars.
And do you think that's because Floyd won't take it because he's too small? Most people think you've always quite often fought bigger guys, so you're kind of a small middleweight. Do you think that's why it won't happen?
¿Tú crees que no puede pasar un combate con Mayweather porque tú crees que Mayweather tiene miedo de ti, porque tú sos más grande?
Es probable que sea uno de los motivos el que no estemos tan cerca en el peso, pero la realidad es que ya me cansé de esperar.
Yeah. He's saying that in reality that there is a weight difference. It's not that significant, but it's pretty significant. But also he's tired of waiting, so he's moving on.
Okay. Moving on, but most likely staying at middleweight. You're not going to go any higher in weight, are you?
¿Te vas a quedar a 160 o vas a ir más arriba?
No, muy probablemente me quede a 160.
So, who beats Maravilla Martinez? Another boxer or Father Time?
All right. Está diciendo, ¿quién va a ganar a Maravilla? ¿Un otro boxeador o Papa Tiempo?
Ojalá que sea el tiempo. Ojalá que sea solo el tiempo.
Hopefully it's only going to be Father Time.
All right. Sergio, thanks for coming back to the Hall of Fame again for the third time, and we hope to see you in many more visits and eventually at your own induction down the road.
So, está diciendo que posiblemente en 5 años vamos a estar aquí otra vez, pero cuando tú vas a estar dentro de la Salón de Fama.
Ojalá, es un sueño enorme, muy grande que tengo. Hace 40 años que un argentino no viene aquí, entonces por eso es un sueño muy grande.
It's his biggest dream right now, and it's been 40 years since an Argentinian has been inducted into the Hall of Fame. So,
well, keep chasing your countryman and fellow middleweight champ Monzon. 7 more defenses.
Yes.
No. Monzon escribió la historia más grande del boxeo. Monzon escribió la historia más grande del boxeo de Argentina.
He's saying that Monzon is the best hit boxer in the history of Argentina, and he wrote the legacy, which is just going to be untouchable by any Argentinian fighter.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.